The Dow Industrials are up 285. Okay, Musk is speaking right now. Have we got the sound? Listen in, please.
Going public for with the largest IPO that ever. And let me tell you, if people had told me this was going to happen, I was like, man, you must be smoking some really good crack, because I think this company's going to fail. I mean, I gave SpaceX less than a 10% chance of succeeding at all, to be clear. In fact, I told people this. I said, look, we're probably going to fail, but we should give it a try, because if we don't, if there's not a new company that enters space, we will never be a truly spacefaring civilization. While the other aerospace companies, they build good rockets and everything, they were simply not pursuing the technology that's necessary to make life multiplanetary, to make Star Trek, to make the exciting science fiction futures that we've read about real. And that's what SpaceX is all about, is to take the fiction out of science fiction and create an exciting, inspiring future for everyone. We want to be able to take anyone who wants to go to the moon, anyone who wants to go to Mars, or anyone in the solar system, and maybe beyond the solar system at some point. We want to be able to take you there. Not just a few astronauts. I mean you, literally you. If you watch, whoever you are watching this, SpaceX wants to be able to take you to the moon, take you to Mars, and ultimately beyond. And I'm confident at this point that with the incredible team that we have here at SpaceX, that we will do that for you. I always think about this. There are always problems on Earth. There are always problems on Earth. There are always things that we wish to be better, that we want to solve here on Earth, and we should solve them. But there also have to be things that get you excited about the future, that make you glad to wake up in the morning, because you can't wait to see what happens next. And that's the future that SpaceX wants to bring to you. Yeah.
All right, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yall, Basham, Yall, Shai, Basham, Rakodash, Shalom, to my apostles and elders. Peace, blessings be unto the elect. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakwadash, double honors to my apostles and elders. Peace and blessings be unto the elect. This is Brother David from GMS Detroit Camp coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakwadash. Today I want to do a video going in on this bit of madness from Elon Musk, and Lord, will this video be edifying. You heard him speak about his plans for SpaceX and their plans to go to the moon and even go beyond the moon, to fulfill their different, fantasies of the different movies and series that they've, come across over the years, like Star Trek. They actually want to physically do these things, but that's not given unto you. It's not given unto Esau, all right? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai, has given you a boundary, all right? Job 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined. Whose days? Esau, Edom, the wicked, all right? Your days, all right, the set amount of time that you are allowed to rule are determined, all right? So the Most High has a certain year, a certain month, all right, a certain week, a certain day, a certain hour, a certain minute, all right, even a certain second when the Heavenly Father's going to pull the plug on you, all right, when he's going to say, okay, that's enough, all right. So your time of rulership is appointed. Remember, the scriptures speak about how the Heavenly Father, all right, in fact, let's grab it. What did the angel Uriel tell unto Ezra, or say unto Ezra? I believe it's Ezra, the 4th chapter. Let's just type it in, just to make it quicker. 2 Ezra 4:37. By measure hath he, talking about the Most High, measured the times. Yeah. And one of the times in which the Most High is measured is the amount of time that Esau is going to be allowed to rule. Esau being the so-called white man. All right. There's a certain amount of time you're going to be allowed to rule. And by number hath he numbered the times. Yeah, same thing. And he being the Most High, doth not move nor stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. Right, a certain amount of time has to pass before the Most High moves on to the next thing. As is written in 1 Corinthians 14:40, let all things be done decently and in order. So if the Heavenly Father feels, or if the servant of the Heavenly Father feels like that, how much more for the Most High? All right, all things are to be done decently and in order. All right, and as the Apostle Paul said, for the things which I commit unto you, these things are the commandments of Yahushai. You see? So when the Apostle Paul was going to the scriptures and saying, hey, you should do this, hey, you should do that, those are commandments. All right? When he learned those things from whom? From Yahushai. All right? These things which I write unto you are the commandments of Yahushai. And one of those things is that all things should be done decently and in order. All right? So if the Apostle Paul was like that and he pushes that, how much more for the Heavenly Father? How much more for Yahushai, who it was that taught the Apostle Paul, all right, pursuant to Galatians, the 1st chapter, all right? And then how much more for the Most High? Because pursuant to John, the 17th chapter, Yahushai and the Most High, they're of the same mind. They're in agreement. So there you go. So they move and do things decently and in order. Likewise with this devil being in power. There's a certain amount of time where he's going to be allowed to be in power. And there's going to be a time when the Heavenly Father unplugs him. And he's not going to get 1 second past his set appointed time. Point blank period. Job 14 verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Yeah. So your set amount of time of rulership is already figured out. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Yeah, you got certain limitations on you. All right? Of the which you cannot pass. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's all futile. It's a wasted effort. Okay? It's futile. There's nothing that you can do to add a second more to your rulership. There's nothing you could do to overstep the bounds that the Most High has set for you. There's nothing you can do. You can't even search out the entirety of the earth, all right? But yet he pays his different, people to explore and to discover new species of whether it's bugs or animals or plants or what have you. Right? Then he tries to search out the deep. Because when you read Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, I believe it is, Jeremiah 31, the Lord gave you certain challenges. And he knew you can't do it. But he said it anyways. And here it is, you being the proud devil that you are, you trying to do it anyways. Jeremiah 31 and 33. Hold on. I'll start at 35. Thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts is his name. If those ordinances, what ordinances? The sun, the moon, right? What's said in verse 35, if those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which if you look up, in fact, the sun is literally right in front of me. The sun's still out there, and when it gets dark, the moon will be out there. All right? But if that were ever to not happen, right, then what? If those ordinances depart from before me, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. And that's why you have the report of these devils saying that they want to blow up the sun. Or they want to shoot missiles at the moon. Who in their right mind would do that? But this devil, which he can't do it, but if he could, he would do it. Because he knows that the Most High, pursuant to Malachi 3 and 6, it's impossible, right, for the Most High to change. All right? The Most High doesn't change. The Most High doesn't lie. Right? Pursuant to the book of Numbers, it says that the Most High doesn't lie. And pursuant to Malachi 3 and 6, the Most High don't change. So the Most High is not going to switch up, and he's a man of his word. Esau knows that. That's why he was thinking about or talking about him desiring to blow up the sun or shoot nukes at the sun or shooting nukes at the moon. That's why. So thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, if heaven above can be measured, which these devils, they're trying so hard with the different telescopes. All right, here it is. You look up how much. Fine, let me show you. They have a telescope called the Hubble telescope. The maintenance on the Hubble telescope costs approximately $100 million every year. This covers sustaining engineering, ground operations, science data processing, and routine flight software management. Astronaut service missions, which historically cost $1 to $2 billion per flight, are no longer performed. So $100 million per year is the key point. Since the final shuttle service mission, operations have been streamlined exclusively to software upgrades, gyro maintenance, and continuing ground station monitoring. The question is, what the hell are they monitoring up there within so-called outer space? Because they want to search out the heaven. The observatory has costed, the observatory has cost roughly $16 billion since 1977. $16 billion. Why would they do this? All right, if there's nothing up there. No, they know that there's something up there. There's other planets, other stars, so on and so forth up there. And there's also the chariots of the Heavenly Father up there. And then ultimately, these devils, they want to search out the heavens. Because if they can do that, oh Lord, you have X amount of planets right here. Oh, and by the way, the universe is this big right here. Then the Most High will have to do what? It says, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. That's why this devil is doing this. That's why he's trying to search out the heavens. He's trying to go out there. He wants to investigate. He's sending out rockets up there, different space stations, different. Why is he doing that? Because he wants to search the heavens. All right? There's another one where it says if the sea can be searched. Let's see. This is good. Job 38:16. Hast thou entered into the springs of the sea, or hast thou walked in the search of the deep, or in the search of the depth? Now, this is from the NKJ. In fact, let's get that same verse. I think that was 38:16. Let's go to the Bible Hub. It says in NIV, have you journeyed to the springs of the sea or walked in the recesses of the deep? NLT, have you explored the springs from which the seas come? Have you explored their depths? Which Esau has not fully explored the sea. Alright? He wish he could, but he can't. Okay? He can't. Alright? So, going back. So it says, Jeremiah 31:37, thus saith Yahweh Bashem El Shai, if heaven above can be measured, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith Yahweh Bashem El Shai. This devil can't do that, but he's going to try again and do it anyway. He's going to keep trying over and over and over again, trying to catch the Most High. Trying to pull one on the Most High. See, look, I did it. No, you will never do it. Okay? Because you're not meant to. It's impossible for you. Okay? But these devils, they want to be able to do and partake of the different promises that Israel's promised. But you're not going to partake of that. John 14, verse 2. I'll probably close out with that, honestly. John 14:2, and it reads, 2. In my Father's house are many mansions. Many mansions meaning what? Many dwelling places. Many dwelling places, many planets. All right? If it were not so, I would have told you. So if that wasn't the case, Yahweh Shai would have told us that. I go to prepare a place for you. All right? So he's dressing those planets, fixing them up. Not fixing them up, but putting them together, as Jake says. And even as Jake says, when it comes to cooking, I'm going to fix me some breakfast. I'm going to fix me some dinner. Meaning they're going to hook it up. They're going to prepare it. And that's what the Heavenly Father through Yahweh Shai is doing. They're fixing us up planets. They're preparing planets for his children, the Israelites. All right? And only for us, not for you heathen. All praise, honors, and glories be to Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Double honors to my apostles and elders. Peace, blessings be unto the elect. Shalom.